if you've been doing this all along, your company probably started and got good at this during the 2010s. If you've never done this before, then you're for sure late to the party. But the definition of what competitive looks like today versus 10 years ago is actually quite different. 10 years ago, listicles, how-to articles reigned supreme because there wasn't nearly as much competition. For sure, you didn't have to just compete with the dozens of other people in your category or more on a global basis. You didn't have to compete with generative AI. So it isn't just all of the great content marketing and thought leadership that's being published by your direct and indirect competitors and non-business model competitors and shared across LinkedIn and search and YouTube and videos and podcasts and webinars. It's all of that plus all the generative AI tools of them being able to get hyper precise answers from ChatGPT and Copilot and Claude and Gemini and all the other generative AI and Perplexity and all the other tools that are out there. So once we confront just how much that buyer behavior has changed, the hard truth is the content that was competitively positioned and working well 10 years ago, it's not just that a lot of it wasn't evergreen enough to be still useful 10 years ago. That for sure is an issue in the data center industry. It's just that what constitutes competitive has changed quite drastically. Remember, your team are not the only ones in your industry that have access to these tools that enable them to go better and faster than they ever have before. So this leveling up, this hyper competition, this globalization, and this literally competing against the generative AI tools really forces you to up the ante. So the immediate painful structural change to take to change their GTM signal to retain pricing authority, most of the time comes down to a manifesto or an edict or a mandate or prioritization or just simply a memo from the CEO or your division subsidiary or your division managing partner, whoever is driving the outcome that's one level above the top of your sales organization and the top of your marketing organization, and the top of your product organization, the top of your channel partner organization. What does one level above that look like? And small to medium-sized companies, it's almost always a CEO. In enterprise companies, it's almost always a division VP or SVP or managing partner of a geographically organized subsidiary or data center related subsidiary. But it largely comes down to reimagining, repositioning, transforming your commercial team to be a lot more actively involved in teaching your prospects and clients what they need to know to be successful in navigating their biggest goals and closing the gap on some of their biggest challenges. And it's not necessarily what you want to teach. It's what they want to and what they need to learn. It's not about you. It's all about them. And the more you become client-centric, perhaps even client-obsessed, the more likely it is that you get the insight that you need to have their exact words and put those exact words in your event calendar for your next 10 or 12 monthly events that you're going to host for the next 10 or 12 months in the schedule. And the more you arrive early enough and often enough, and the more you can shape the criteria that they use to decide what is a priority and what the best practices are and what the methodologies are, what the rubrics look like, what the comparisons look like, what the case studies look like. All of the above is by introducing your prospects and clients to your company's subject matter experts and learning directly from them, and ideally having multiple people from that company, from that decision committee, learning and growing together. In this context, you will dramatically turn the table on solving the GTM signal crisis, getting out of the commodity trap, and being able to reclaim your pricing power so you can scale and grow your company profitably, successfully, and sustainably